Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the rest of the year. We're going to do kind of like a deep question reading like we did a couple weeks ago. Your first row is going to represent what you need to hear right now. You have this endings and beginnings card and the stability and security card. You're like, I don't know, the third person to have this card. If you don't know, I shuffle these cards, in between readings, and I just don't do it on camera because it would take like 40 minutes. And, I don't think people need to sit through 40 minutes of shuffling. So there you go. But, that's how a card can repeat across readings because I shuffle. And some people say, I don't believe you. And I say, I don't care. I have nothing to prove, right? I have nothing to sell you. I don't do readings, right? What do I have to prove? I don't care. So that's what I'll say about that. But again, a lot of people have been getting this energy. And, so either people are more focusing on stability and security or, I don't know. It just seems to be like something that people are very focused on. Is it a good? But sometimes I think it can be good, but sometimes I think comfort, seeking security can be bad. I would say, obviously, based off this reading, it's good. You definitely have one of the better readings for sure so far. Again, the readings, I wouldn't say they've been like challenging, but just there have been like little things here and there that have basically come up for every single sign. Almost every single person has had the devil again, so clearly we're in a time where we need to be careful of devil energy. Now, one thing I will say is definitely, I think, throughout Neptune and Aries, we should be very careful of devil energy. I would also say between now and 2028, we should be extra careful of devil energy because we have that magical triangle between Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto that's going to last until, is going to last until 2028. And there is like a little bit of deception there. The problem with Neptune and Aries is not all bad, but, it can represent looking for a savior. We can be looking for a person who has all the answers. The problem with this magical triangle of Neptune, Uranus, and, Pluto is that it's, it could be like a charismatic leader type situation. And I'm not talking about the ones that exist right now. I'm talking about something worse that we don't even know yet, right? And so, basically, we have to, really, the answer is simple. We have to learn to trust ourselves. And we also have to not look for, answers external to us. All your answers should come from your heart, basically, and that's it. And you shouldn't put anyone on a pedestal. Anyone, including your parents, people you look up to, anything, right? We are in a time where we should trust but verify for sure. I think I've said it many times before that should be the quote of the next 8 years of your life until 2033. Like, I can listen to this person, but, I shouldn't just take it as gospel. I should try it for myself. And again, the other thing is, again, it's not about, you are never going to find someone who's 100% right now either, right? So it's like some things that people say will work. Other things that the same person says won't work in your life, in whatever area of your life you're trying to improve. So again, we are really in a time where we have to trust what we are able to discover through putting it, taking action on things that we learn, right? And again, and then also not putting people on a pedestal. There you go. You have the Star, the Two of Cups, and the Ace of Swords coming up, and what you need to hear right now. Definitely could be a victory on a wish that you're hoping to have. Like the Star, I feel, could just be a wish that you're hoping for. And the Ace of Swords is like the victory. This could be love. Your love row, the last row in this reading, is going to be love. And it actually looks pretty good. So I think you could be attracting love. Could be an Aquarius for sure. Could be any sign. You have basically everything here. I mean, you have Pisces, Water, Earth, Taurus twice. You have Fire. You have Capricorn. You have Leo. I mean, basically all 12 signs. So could be any sign coming in for you. You have the Two of Cups. Yes, if you are attracting love, could be a perfect match for sure. That's coming in for you here. I feel like you are attracting someone who's just as stubborn as you, Aries. So I don't know. I feel like I almost feel like this is a good thing. I feel like this is a person who challenges you. It's like maybe, I don't know. I feel this is very specific, maybe for like one or two of you or just a couple of you. It's like if you're used to people, if you've been dating people who are like pushovers, I feel like this person is definitely not a pushover. The funny thing is like when you first meet this person, I think that you will think they are a pushover. Maybe you're interested in this person right now, and maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to have this person wrapped around my little finger. But I don't think so. I think that this person might challenge you in a good way. It's like a challenging connection. I do think we are all, like, I think everybody is kind of looking for a connection that challenges them right now. at this moment in some way. But, we're not talking about a bad challenge. We're talking about good challenges. Someone who challenges you to grow in life, someone who challenges you to work on yourself, and vice versa as well. Like, this goes both ways, right? And so, I think a lot of people are kind of looking for that, but it's like you're actually finding it, which is good. Definitely time for you to listen to your higher self. So outside of all the love stuff here, Aries, I think it is very important that you listen to your dreams, your daydreams, your intuitive hits, all that stuff. I know I say this to you every single reading, but it literally comes up in every single reading that I do for you. This card represents you and your higher self. And then you have the Eight of Wands right here. You receiving messages from your higher self. You have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords can be like a victory or a big win coming in for you. And so I do feel that there could be some sort of big win coming in for you at this time, Aries. I think it's time for you to win. Sometimes I also feel you have to remember that it's like it takes 30 years for Saturn to come back to a sign, right? And so it's been basically 30 years since Saturn has been in Aries. So if you are over 30 years old, then you've already maybe experienced Saturn in Aries, and there could be something coming back to you that you worked on 30 years ago, right? And so I feel that for some of you. Obviously, that might make sense for those of you that are like 60s, or that are like 60 or older, right? There could be something that's coming back for you at this time, but even if not, even if you're younger, still doesn't matter. You could be in your 40s. There could be something you thought about when you were 10 years old, and now you're kind of like revisiting it, some sort of childhood dream or something like that, right? And there could be a victory around that. I also just think, again, I'm a big fan of Saturn in Aries. I don't necessarily think it's easy. There's one reason I think Saturn in Aries is really good this time around is because Neptune. Because they are both basically going to move back into Aries at the same time. So Neptune will be in January. Saturn will be the end of February, so within a month, big freaking deal, right? Basically the same time as far as planets are concerned. And I think that having Saturn there is definitely a blessing. Having Saturn at the end of Neptune and Pisces is a little bit of a blessing, and then moving into the start of Neptune and Aries, having Saturn there is also going to be a blessing. I think it's going to expose some of those truths that I was talking about. It's going to make us be a little bit more responsible, things like that. But it looks really good. With the star, here you go. You have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, you really need to find out your own truth and not look for other people's truths. And, that's pretty much what I would focus on here. I have nothing to add. With the Two of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, it's like resting, relaxing, recovering. I also feel like if you've been hoping and praying for a new connection, he is hoping and praying for a blessing. And so you definitely maybe have been asking for this blessing, and it's like you're getting something you've asked for. Even in your next row, you have the Eight of Wands and the Page of Cups. It's like maybe you've been hoping and praying for connection or communication with a person. It's like you're finally getting it. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, a lot of Eight of Pentacles energy in these readings. And so Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. If we just pick one thing and make it happen, it'll be successful. Saturn and Aries. Saturn and Aries says if you just pick one thing and see it through to the end, you'll get a result in the future. Next, we're going to look at what you're outgrowing at this time. You have this Joy and Pleasure card and this Sacred Union card. I don't think you're actually outgrowing this at all. I think you are inviting more pleasure into your life. I wonder if you're outgrowing like a serious energy or things needing to be too serious. It's almost like you're being willing to be more playful, where it's like you're willing to, play the game more. It's kind of funny to me. Like when people say things like they don't want to be in a relationship where someone is playing games, right? Which I understand, but at the same time, it's like, why shouldn't it be a game? Like games are fun. Don't you enjoy playing games? Like why do we have to take it so seriously, right? And I don't know. That's kind of like popping into my head here. That maybe you should be careful of your words, is like instead of saying like I don't want to play games, maybe you should say like, I'm just looking for, it's like flip that on its head. You should be saying, I'm just going to look for fun experiences that are enjoyable. And I'm not even just talking about love, I'm talking about everything here, Aries. But I think you're like letting go of the need for things to be serious, and that'll probably help a lot. You have the Eight of Wands, the Hangman, and the Page of Cups. I think you're finally moving, really, is what this is saying. It's like you're finally making a move. I think that there are a lot of things that I think that what's going to happen to you is that a lot of people are going to come to you in the future and be like, oh, I thought you weren't serious about that. Speaking of being serious, like let's say that a couple of years ago, or let's say for years, you've been telling people, I'm going to do XYZ with my life. It's like, part of me feels like people don't believe you, but it's like maybe this year or over the next year, it's like all of a sudden you're going to be making these moves. And it's almost like, I'm not saying you're proving things to people, but kind of, it's like I kind of feel like you're doing things that you have said you were going to do for a long time. I think you're going to be surprising a lot of people. I'm pretty sure I said this to you. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you before, and yeah, I don't know. I'm a Pisces. Obviously, I was born before Aries, and this kind of energy happened for Pisces, like over the past few years. And it's like I've definitely had a lot of those moments where people are like, "Oh, I didn't think you were serious about that," when I actually was dead serious, right? And so I think that's maybe what you need to say is like, "No, I was dead serious. You just didn't believe me." And there you go. You have the Hangman. Yeah, we're in a time of new perspective, so Uranus and Gemini. Even though this card is Pisces, I don't care. This card, I think, has been coming up a lot since Uranus went into Gemini. And again, even though this is Pisces, doesn't matter. Uranus and Gemini definitely shows us not just the other perspective, but all the perspectives, all the way around everything. And so we are in a time of gaining new perspectives and gaining enlightenment. It's just what we're doing. You have the Page of Cups here. There's something about love. Again, this row we are looking at what you are outgrowing at this time. I don't think you're outgrowing love, but I think maybe you could be outgrowing a certain type of love. I think you could be even being more playful in a good way in love. It doesn't mean that you're not going to take it seriously. I just think that maybe you're just willing to say like, I'm just going to let this play out. I'm just going to see where this goes. And again, I think when we do that, better things can happen, right? Instead of being like, I need to find the person I'm going to marry right now. That never works. Here you go. Very good reading. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Sun. The Sun and the Star together is fame and fortune. And you also have the Empress. These three cards in a reading, to me, are a glow up. So you definitely could be working on your glow up here. Again, this reading is for the rest of the year, but I would say that honestly for the next 3 years, that you have a great opportunity to glow up with Saturn in your sign. If you don't do the work, then nothing is going to happen. We have to become more responsible with Saturn in our sign. We have to take responsibility of things. We have to put in the work and discover new ways of working, and we have to do all that stuff, right? And so if you do that, then you could absolutely have a glow up over the next few years. If you don't, nothing is going to happen. And so do it. Do something, right? But definitely very good for attention, which it is an amazing time for attention for you. With the Hangman, you have the Temperance card. Yes, I got the same energy for Libra. Not exactly the same, but your opposite sign, where it's like you're no longer waiting for things. In a good way. It's like, of course, there are always things that we have to wait for. But, I think that you are more like living life on purpose, right? One of my favorite things to talk about is living on purpose. Deciding that you're going to be the one to make something happen. And that's more the energy I get here from this card. With the Page of Cups, you have two cards. You have the Hierophant and the Moon, which you have the Hierophant again in this reading. I'll show you. We have the Hierophant right here as well. So this can represent thinking outside the box. I also feel this could be like an unusual connection that you are forming here, Aries. There could be, it is popping into my head that there could be like unusual in a good way. I mean like eccentric, like an eccentric connection, or there could be some sort of, unusual difference, like an age difference or something, or, I don't know, whatever. Next, we're going to look at what's one thing you could do right now that will change everything for you. And you have this Make Your Mark card. It says, stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. Literally said it. And Saturn and Neptune, definitely Saturn and Aries, but also Neptune. But I'm telling you right now, the best thing that Aries can do is pick one thing and finish it all the way through to the end. And I say this to you all the time. You have this Capricorn card. It says challenges. It says it will not be an easy path, but if you build discipline, Saturn, you will achieve your goal. Devil in your reading as well could just be Saturn. The Devil is Saturn in Capricorn. And so technically, a lot of people read the devil as Capricorn, which I do too. It can represent Capricorn energy, but if you want to be super technical about it, the card itself is Saturn in Capricorn. Sometimes I feel that Saturn in Capricorn can represent profitable education, meaning that if there's something you want, if you learn about it, you will get a result. Now, profitable doesn't have to mean money. It could mean that you learn how to love better, right? Or you learn how to overcome love issues and things like that. And, maybe the profit is love in your life. So it could be anything, but that energy is definitely popping into my head. Now, the thing is, the last time we had Saturn in Capricorn was back in 2016. So I would think back to that time if I were you, Capricorn, like what were you doing in 2016, 2017, 2018, even maybe even 2015, like for those few years, basically before COVID, the before time, right? Here, Aries, did I call you Capricorn? Sorry, Aries. What were you doing during that time? I don't know, but I would think back to that time because it's popping into my head that there could be something that you were thinking about doing, that you were working on, and it's like you're revisiting it now. And so even not when Capricorn or when Saturn was in Capricorn, maybe even a little bit earlier than that, but still something I would think about. What are we doing? One move you could make that will change everything for you right now. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is about taking those steps. With the Six of Pentacles, we have to plant that seed, see if it grows, see if it doesn't grow, and go from there. So we have to, plant seeds and see what works, see what doesn't work, and get growing. If you're attracting love, I would definitely make sure with the devil coming up next to this that you don't invite any breadcrumbers into your life. If someone seems like a breadcrumber, they probably are. And so I'm wondering, again, obviously you have glow up vibes going on here, so you could be very attractive at this time. If you're attracting new people, you need to be careful and make sure you're not attracting any breadcrumbers, right? And I would definitely do that. You have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands can be marriage, of course, so you could be attracting a new person into your life if you are looking for love. And I feel that would be very good for you if you're looking for love, like a commitment. It could be a Capricorn or someone with a lot of Capricorn in their chart or something here, Aries. I do feel like there's a lot of attraction. You have the Hierophant as well. It's I also get something about this being very eccentric. I think I said that earlier. There's something eccentric about it is what keeps popping into my head. But I think that could be fun. It's probably not going to be the usual connection. But again, that's probably a good thing. Not a bad thing, right? I also think this is your commitment to things. This Make Your Mark card says, stick to a decision. That is, I'm telling you right now, that is the key word for you, Aries, is sticking to a decision, seeing something through to the end no matter what. And I think doing that is going to lead to you making your mark. You have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is something new coming in for you. I feel like there is something new. This is a new person coming in for you, I feel, for those of you that want love. I even think this doesn't have to be love, though. I think this could be a helpful person, in work or business, a partner or someone who helps you out. I'm also getting research partner as well. So I don't know if you do something in work or business that could benefit from research, it could be a research partner or something. But I would be open to those energies. For sure. It would probably be very helpful. But let's see here, Aries, what's going on for you. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords here. I just wanted to see what else is going on in this reading. Five of Swords is separation, walking away from things. It is my card of taking a risk as well. Yeah, don't be afraid to cut anything out that's breadcrumbing you, is what I feel like saying. If something is not delivering a result, I think maybe what this is saying is that you should be getting, more than just enough back from things that are actually going to work. I'm not telling you to up and quit your job right now, right? Of course not. But what I am saying is if you're putting energy into your job and you're not getting enough out of it, then maybe you need to either ask for a raise or promotion or go look for something new, right? Same thing if you have a business. If you're not getting more than you put into it, it's you don't have to quit your business. Of course not. There are a million freaking things you can do that could probably expand your reach, that could double your income, believe it or not, if you do your research and figure out how to do that, right? And so it's maybe this is about discovering ways to get more out of what you put into things, and I would just do that research. With the Four of Wands, you have the Six of Wands here, and definitely a victory. There could be a big win coming in for you if you're looking for a win. this could also be, like I said, love. It's like, maybe you've been to war. This guy here, he's been to war in love, and now he's coming back from war, and he is being celebrated. So it's like maybe you've been to war in love, and you're finally getting something very good for you. I have another weird message popping into my head is like, I feel like some of you, it's like there has been a seed planted, and I think you don't know that it's going to grow. I'll give you a great example. Many years ago, I had this idea that I wanted to move to Seattle, but it wasn't very serious. And then obviously I did. Then obviously I did move to Seattle, right? A few years after that, right? But it wasn't serious, like when I first thought of it, right? It wasn't something that I took seriously or anything like that. I kind of feel something like that for you here, Aries, where it's like you have, and this literally could involve travel, but I get this like thing about like a seed being planted. It's like you're not taking it very seriously, but it could be anything. It's like you're thinking about something, or you have thought about something. And this could be intuitive as well with that star card. This could be like a dream that you've had or something like that, where it's just like a seed of some sort of idea, something you're not taking seriously. Don't be surprised if over the next few years you do what you thought like now. That's also popping into my head. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Justice card. Yes, if you are attracting, I think you two balance each other out. That's the other thing. Yeah, you really could be attracting a good connection here, Aries. Love looks very good. And I think love does look good for you in general, but, I think you could be attracting a person where it's like the two of you really do kind of balance each other out in some way. Next, we're going to look at what blessings are coming in for you at this time. You have this tenacious individuality card, which you are in Aries, are usually tenaciously individual. You have this nurturing card as well, so you could be attracting a person who's going to really nurture you. I think the things that you nurture are going to grow very well here. You have the Devil, the Queen of Wands, and the Hierophant. Again, we're looking at what blessings are coming in for you. So the Devil as a blessing would say that, number one, you're probably becoming more responsible. Number two, research is going to be a key word for you in this reading with that Page of Pentacles. Learning. I would go back to like 2016. That's the number that's popping into my head. Like, what were you doing in 2016? What big changes happened? What were you working on? And what were you creating? And things like that. I would think back to that time. That's literally, I said it earlier. That's what this card was talking to me about. I also think as far as a blessing is concerned, you could just, with Saturn in your sign, especially, it is going to retrograde back into Pisces soon enough, depending on when you're watching this video. But what I would say is, it does move back into Aries in February of next year. And so you being more responsible will bring blessings as far as I'm concerned. You have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, it's time for you to shine bright here, Aries. Star, Sun, Empress, glow-up energy. Like I said, this isn't going to magically happen. This is going to happen through probably nurturing things that matter to you, you taking care of yourself. I always say that the Empress is a glow-up, but she gets the glow-up because she loves herself more than anything else. She practices true self-love. And, I think that everybody should do that in the first place anyway. That's the only thing we should focus on. If everybody just focused on that, then things would get a lot better. Not perfect. Life will never be perfect. It's not meant to be. But, things would get a lot better for sure. And so I think that you need to focus on the sun. She has this sunflower right here. The sunflower points towards the sun, so she does things that bring her love, joy, happiness, peace, good feelings, good vibes, all that. And I think focusing in that direction would be great. You have the Hierophant. Definitely could be marriage vibes here. I mean, we do have, the Four Wands and the Hierophant, which is marriage. So if you are looking for love that leads to marriage, then there's definitely could be a connection that leads to marriage coming in for you. Let's see. With the Devil, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is like being spoiled for choice, having a lot of options. So, but, this could also be you being creative. The thing about the Devil is sometimes I think the Devil can represent trapped creative energy. Those people on the card, they have these animal horns on their heads, which represent our baser instincts, like our root chakra energy. And so it kind of says that their root chakra energy, they need to bring that energy up to their heads and express it out into the world. Seven of Cups would be about creative expression, and sometimes. And, that might be a good thing for you to do. And let's see. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. It's like progress. I think you're making progress towards your goals. That's it. Let's see here. And with the Hierophant, you have the Strength card. And the Strength card is patience. I think you've done a lot of work on yourselves. The Strength card is about inner strength. It's about taming your inner beast, your inner lion. It's about taming that inner critic, that little voice in the back of your head that says you can't do something. And by taking control of that, you taking control of your life will get better. And that's what this card wants you to do. Next, we're going to look at what is going to happen in love for you at this time. You have this retreat card that says withdraw, self-protection, and reevaluate. You have this teamwork card that says collaboration, team dynamics, and balance. So, yeah, maybe some of you have been withdrawn in love. I kind of feel like you have, Aries. You've taken a break, but like I kind of feel, it's kind of funny because I feel like Aries is becoming softer, like in a good way, of course. It's like maybe you've been kind of withdrawn this year at the beginning of the year as far as love is concerned. And I kind of feel like you're softening your heart towards love now. And it's like you're saying, maybe I do want it. Maybe I would be okay with it in my life. And so, I don't know, I think that would be a good thing. I feel like this is going to sound weird, and, feel free to leave a joke in the comments if you catch my drift here. I feel like you're attracting someone who is like hard but soft, or like soft but hard. I don't know what the hell that means, but it's like, it's like maybe you're attracting someone who comes off as soft, but it's like I think they have a little bit more of an edge than you think, so they're not soft. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe you're into tough guys, tough girls, whatever. Maybe you're into goth chicks. Maybe you're into whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to judge, right? But what I would say is it's like I feel like this person has a softer exterior, but they're actually like very tough, like in a good way, not a bad way, popping into my head. The Four of Pentacles is can be a card of stability. I think you could be attracting someone who's very stable as well. The other thing is one thing I will say is that's kind of like weird that's popping into my head as well is if you are attracting love, either you are about to take more risks or this person is. But like in a good way. Four of Pentacles can be too much in a comfort zone. So we need to leave a comfort zone with this card, and that could be happening. You have the Empress. Yeah, someone finds you very attractive here, Aries. You probably are very attractive at this time, so I would like put yourself out there, right, with this card. The Empress is about like putting yourself out there, getting attention, doing things to get attention. It says you are very attractive at this time, so if you want attention, you will get attention. So it's time to date. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, you could be attracting someone who's very independent. I feel both people are probably... You had that card. It says tenacious individuality, right? So, like, very independent. I think a lot of you are very independent, but two independent people can work very, very well together. So, there you go. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, again, some of you, I think, are just leaving the comfort zone of protecting yourself from love, and you're just, like, opening up to love, plain and simple. That's what I get there. With the Empress, yes, you have the Seven of Wands. You need to open up. Seven of Wands is too closed off. Seven of Wands is waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. So, I think it's time to put yourself out there, Aries. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I think you have to, like, go on an adventure. This is going to be a very adventurous connection. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't know. Like, this connection, I think, will probably change your life in some way. I think it's going to make you take bigger risks, which, like, in a good way, though. It's like sometimes you get with a person who, like, without doing anything, they make you want to do things, like, be a better person or whatever, right? And that's, like, what I feel here is, like, maybe without doing anything, this person makes you want to be more adventurous and makes your life more exciting. And wouldn't that be great? Who doesn't want excitement right now? I think things are pretty freaking boring, if you ask me. It's like, I don't know about anyone else, but I've been doing the same thing for months. Which usually I start to make bad decisions when that happens. So, again, it's like I think, and again, it's my own fault, right? It's all our own fault getting into these comfort zones. So we need to start doing new things, having new experiences, getting out into the world, adventuring, doing all that stuff. So that's what I would do here. But I don't know, it looks good, Aries. I like this. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.